Howdy and welcome back to another video. It's crazy that the second video on this channel is going to be a music, movie, news, biopic type video, but it just so happened that the Michael Jackson biopic movie, Michael, trailer just dropped today. So let's just get into it. Initial thoughts. The look, the sound, the editing style for the movie look great based on the, minute and a half so trailer that we got, but everything looks and sounds great. Also considering that some of the people who worked on the Bohemian Rhapsody movie starring Rami Malek are working on this movie, I think it's going to be just as big of a deal and just as big of a cinematic event as that was. Everything looks great. I think it's going to be a great movie. Comes out in April 2026 according to the end of the trailer. Don't think it's going to be delayed because that already happened with some reshoots based on some story issues. Positive, all looks good. Great. The things I want to discuss and talk about are the things that I think people will complain about. Just to get some, discussion rolling in the comments. First off, the actor portraying Michael Jackson in the movie is Jafar Jackson. If you know or don't know, Jafar Jackson is the nephew of Michael Jackson. I don't think a lot of musical biopic movies that have been made or are gonna be made in the future, I don't think have had or are going to have a direct relative to the artist that they are portraying, play them in the movie. So one, I think that's very special for the Jackson family to have a relative, portray Michael Jackson. I think it's very important. I don't think that there would be another actor, at least of big name, that could portray him based on looks, based on sound, vocal-wise, and just movement and, just little habits and mannerisms that could replicate some of which Michael Jackson had. So I think Jafar Jackson is a good choice. I don't think Jafar Jackson looks 100% like Michael Jackson in the little bit of the trailer that we've had, but in some parts of the trailer, if you pause in moments where, he's striking a pose while dancing or singing in the studio, some moments when you pause looks one-to-one like Michael Jackson. So in terms of Jafar Jackson looking like Michael Jackson, I don't think it's a big deal. If you've seen my previous video discussing the cast of the Beatles biopic movie, you would know my takes on that too. We've only had pictures so far. We have no makeup, no costumes, no, CGI, maybe AI in the works, but we've had no extra anything to, really judge how the movie's gonna look for the Beatles biopic movie. But if we take that same principle and put it here for the Michael Jackson biopic movie, I think they've aced it. CGI, costumes, AI in the works. Everything that was put together to make this trailer and gonna make the movie as accurate to the look of Michael Jackson and the story as possible is, wow, it looks great so far. I think it's gonna be great. So Jafar Jackson looking like Michael Jackson, not being one-to-one, not a big deal. I think anyone who complains about that should just know that, no person looks 100% like the other person in the world. Just generally speaking. Unless Michael Jackson had a secret twin that the world didn't know about, I don't think anyone could have portrayed it better than, what we've been given, because we won't know. So, good job for Jafar Jackson. We'll see what happens to the movie. Another thing that I think people will, have a lot to say about is the story of Michael Jackson. Allegations made, the general making of the music, a lot of different factors that could go into making this an accurate story, inaccurate story, and to whoever's seeing the movie, their side of what they believe versus, what the truth is. Will anyone truly know the truth of, Michael Jackson or know the truth of any big figure, political, actor, musician? Probably not. People are going to believe whatever they believe in, regardless of what they're told. So we will see what happens in the movie. But based off the trailer, it looks like a fun movie so far. I've seen this brought up too in the comments of the Michael trailer, which I will put in link in description if you haven't seen it already. But AI use in the movie. There's about a 5-second clip in the trailer where Jafar Jackson talks, and he sounds extremely similar to Michael Jackson. And already in the short span of time between me filming this video and watching the trailer, one of the top comments is, oh, I think they probably used AI to replicate Michael Jackson's voice. And it could be true. It could be true. To me, I don't think that's a problem. It's a movie, It's made to be a representation of sorts of Michael Jackson's story, of Michael Jackson. So if they need to, enhance some things and move things around to sound like Michael Jackson, to look like Michael Jackson, then so be it. It's probably going to make for a better movie experience. It's also just inevitable. Everything is going to use AI. A lot of things are using AI that you don't think use AI. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on those things. I really have no complaints because there's so little of us to go off of, which is like the minute and 15 or 20-second trailer. So can't judge too far, but it looks great. And I want to see what the studio is going to do, you know, more in marketing for the movie and how long the movie's going to be. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the trailer so far and the things that I've discussed with y'all in this video so far. Jafar Jackson, do you think he's a good look for Michael Jackson? The story, do you think whatever you believe is going to be portrayed in the movie? And AI, do you think AI was used in recreating the voice or look of Michael Jackson in the movie? If you're new to the channel, check out my other video discussing the new cast announced for the Beatles biopic movie. And if you've been watching, make sure to subscribe and stick around for other music-related topics being discussed. Yeah, that's all. I think the trailer looks great. Let me know what you think.